Well, we are here in Colorado. We're in the Rocky Mountains and it is freezing, but it's awesome that it's snowing. I'm here with Courtney. She's standing off to the side, freezing her little booty off. Are you cold? Yeah,
a
just a tad cold. It feels so good though, because we're in the mountains. It's a little higher elevation than I was expecting because breathing is actually kind of hard, especially if you're going upstairs or something. Yes, where I lived it was a 600 feet elevation. Now we're at 8,500 feet in elevation. So yeah, it was really nice to wake up to all the snow though. So much snow. So what have you thought of the trip so far? Have you enjoyed everything?
This is pretty much the ideal trip. Freezing and dark and gloomy. That's what I like.
Yeah, the altitude's a little rough though. You're having difficulty breathing too. You have a headache.
Yeah, I had, let's see, we almost passed out on the way in.
We just weren't used to the altitude, so we were taking it like normal people.
And what else? Yeah, I got a headache and you got nosebleeds.
Yeah.
And we both slept awfully.
Yeah, we did.
We were huffing and puffing, doing nothing. It was pretty sad.
Yeah. So, are we gonna take the kids here?
The older one definitely.
Yeah, I don't think Aiden would like it. It's a little not for babies.
I don't think he can even see this far, so.
No. But it's weird that it's June and it's snowing.
This is the best.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's like 3 to 5 inches last night and it is just gorgeous. I love how crisp it is out here. It's June. It's 90 degrees. No, it's 100 degrees back home. Oh, babe, and look up there. There's icicles.
Oh yeah, on the chimney?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the only bit of the vlog that was actually usable because the rest, for some reason, was a little staticky and it was grainy and then the sound was off. So I was like, okay, well, I'll film the rest when I get home and I'll just lay over the B-roll that I had filmed when I was in Colorado. So yeah, Colorado, fantastic. Had a great time. Thought we might see some snow and we did see some snow. Also, that elevation, no joke. That was a serious thing. So yeah, we were at 600 feet here where I am right now in Texas. And then there, I know we hit at one point, I was checking on my phone, we hit 10,500 feet, which is, that's really high. That's really, really high. But we were literally on the Rocky Mountains. We were at the top of some of these peaks of the Rocky Mountain. And it was beautiful. So to actually get to the resort that we were staying at, you actually had to go up into the Rockies. And then you had to go down into a valley in the Rockies. And it was so stinking beautiful. The amount of mountains and trees, just millions of trees, and they're huge. They were just so big. And just all the curvy roads. I can show you one of the roads that we actually traveled on. It looked like someone's signature. That's how curvy the roads were up there. And it was hilarious because it was a straight road all the way to the Rockies, and then it was like in cursive writing. But the resort had some fantastic food. If you ever want to maybe check it out, it's called the Devil's Thumb. It was absolutely just beautiful. Like I said, we thought we might see some snow. I know we were looking like a week before we went, and then it was like 30%. We're like, okay, that's cool. A 30% chance of snow. Maybe it'll snow. Maybe we'll get a dusting. And then it was 50%. And then like the last day was 60%. And we were like, oh, okay, that's awesome. Holy cow. And then right as we got in, it started very lightly sleeting. It was very tiny, almost nerd size, if you know what I mean by nerds. I'm going to show you a photo. Nerd-sized hail. Or not hail, sleet. Sorry, I'm in Texas. I'm used to saying hail, not sleet. So, yeah, and then that slowly went away, and then the snow started falling. And that was like, it's getting a little dark. The snow was falling. And then the coolest thing ever happened. We were in a thunder snowstorm.
Dude.
Right?
It was thundering and lightning and there was snow. And I was like, okay, well, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Ever. And I tried my best to capture it on film, but I didn't fully get it. But me and Courtney, we promised we saw it. And it was really cool. We just sat there in front of the window and just watched it. We were like, well, this is the coolest thing ever. And we watched it for almost an hour. It just kept going. So I saw two really cool things. I saw a thunder snowstorm and it was snowing in June. Like, that's ridiculous. I left Texas and it was like 93 degrees. And then we landed in Denver, Colorado, which we stayed in for a while, and it was probably like 70 there. But as we started going up and up and up into those mountains, it went from, 70, 60, 50, 40s. And we were finally in the 40s when we got to the place that we were. And I was like, I could get used to this. I could get used to some cool weather all the time, always. That's great. Or, when you just want to have some cool weather. I was like, oh man, Colorado is like legitimately awesome. And mainly this was just kind of a relaxing trip. We just enjoyed the views. We went on a small hike after the snow stopped. We were just having a good time. I collected a rock because I tend to try to get a rock from places I visited. And I was in the Rocky Mountains, so I was like, oh, I want to get a rock from the Rocky Mountains because it's the Rocky Mountains. Rock from Rocky Mountains. It just makes sense. And we also stopped at an antique store. I forget what it was called. I think it was called the Brass Armadillo. And I actually picked up a toy that I used to play with, me and my brother, when we were kids, when we visited my grandmother's house. And I saw it and I was like, well, I have to get this because I want Aiden and Jobin to be able to maybe play with this too. Maybe they'll enjoy it. I think Jobin's a little past being able to play with it. He might still enjoy it, but I think Aiden, when he's younger or older than he is right now, because he's only 2 months, I think he'll enjoy it and it'll be something cool for him to look at. And if not, I'll just put it up in storage and I'll keep it because it means something to me. It means something that, it was something that I played with when I was a kid anytime I visited my grandparents. But all in all, that was a great trip. I want to thank Courtney for, having this idea that we could go on some sort of trip. And we did. We went to the Rocky Mountains. We went to a place called Devil's Thumb, and she paid for all of it. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a YouTuber and I don't make too much money. I have a small editing job that I do as well. So when she offered this, I was like, oh, you don't have to do that, but if you want to go, let's go. And she's like, let's go. And I want to thank you, babe. I appreciate that. And I love you. And I had a really great time. And it's all thanks to you because, well, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And you spoil me more than you ever need to. I want you to know that. And I want you to know I appreciate it. So yeah, that was a great trip. I hope to go on many more trips with Courtney as well as the kids one day. Maybe we'll go on trips with the kids and sometimes we'll just go on trips by ourselves. Because sometimes, now that I'm a parent, it's nice to have some alone time. And having that alone time with Courtney was perfect. I just liked sitting there talking to her, looking out the window, sitting in a rocking chair. There was a rocking chair in the room and we were just talking and looking at the snow and looking at a kid build a snowman. I was like, this is perfect. And it's June. And we didn't really feel like we had too much of a Christmas this year, mainly because we live in Texas and we don't see snow. So anytime you see snow, it's just like Christmas. But I'm glad to be back. Like I said, the altitude was kind of ridiculous. It's something that you get used to, though, in about 2 to 3 days. So if we ever go back for longer amount of time than we did, I'm sure that we'll get used to it. Or eventually over time, if we go a lot, maybe we'll just become immune to it. I don't really know how that works. That first day was pretty rough, but eventually we were able to kind of get used to it. Wearing the face masks and stuff didn't help because, yeah, it definitely is kind of a breath taker. It takes the breath away and you're like, whoa, because where we are now, we have 100% oxygen. But there, where we were looking at about 68% oxygen. I was getting a D+ amount of oxygen to my brain and my heart and my body. And I was just like, so yeah, caught me off guard, but it makes a lot of sense because a lot of the people in Colorado and Denver and all those really high areas were in really good shape. Like everyone looked in great shape and I'm like, oh, this makes sense. But I could go on and on about Denver and all those places. Denver, we ate a lovely meal in downtown, and I had a great time just being able to spend it with Courtney and just enjoy some good food. We both had steaks. I had a steak, I had a filet, and she had a ribeye, and it was great. I love vacations, and I want to get better at vlogging. I apologize that you guys are having to watch my dumb face right now. I wish that you were seeing some live action stuff, but I will admit that I am a little nervous when it comes to actual vlogging in public, but I want to get better at that, especially with Courtney and the kids. I think that'd be a really awesome opportunity for us to maybe look back on our lives when me and her are older. So yeah, I'm going to end the video there. If you can, or if you haven't already, like the video and go ahead and comment down below a place that maybe you thoroughly enjoyed visiting, or maybe a place that we should visit. Yeah, I would appreciate those. And until next time, hopefully you'll have some more vlogs in the future. I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
I have I've spotted a Josh in the wild, stalking his rock